Welcome to, I gotta get that to stop. Pause. All right. Welcome to In the City with Resource City. My name is Nicholas Cabrera, and I am your co-host.
Tony Newell, your other co-host.
And welcome back to another great episode of In the City. We are on episode 8. We took a little hiatus, 2 weeks off, but we're back and better than ever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where'd we go?
Spain.
Yeah. My sister's in Spain.
Sister's in Spain.
I'm not jealous. I'm just a little jealous. Yeah.
Good times though, right?
Yeah. The other night I'm like texting her, and all of a sudden she's like, "You know I'm in Spain, right?"
He's already laughing.
He's laughing.
Oh God.
We'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, she just goes, "Yeah, I'm in Spain." So I'm like, "Cool. Bring me a refrigerator magnet." So if anybody out there wants to send me refrigerator magnets for my collection, that's greatly appreciated.
I collect refrigerator magnets.
Do you now?
From people who go to trips.
That's
I always
cool.
ask them to bring me one.
Yeah.
You guys are cool.
Thanks, Hudak.
They're great.
We really appreciate that. Well, you know what? Now that we started the conversation, Tony, we should introduce our guests.
Hit it.
All right. So to my right, we have the legendary Dan Hudak. Oh, where's our buttons? Do we have our? Our associate producer forgot the soundboard, but we're gonna come back to that in a second.
For now.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. To my right, again, the legendary Dan Hudak, lecturer with Hudak on Hollywood. Dan, thanks for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Nick. Pleasure.
Yeah, good to see you.
Hi.
You have your shirt embroidered.
Yeah.
It says DSH.
Baller.
Yeah. What's your middle name?
Steven.
Oh, thanks, Steven. All right. And then to Hudak's right, we have Rene Rodriguez, cinema manager at the Bill Cosford Cinema at the University of Miami. Rene, thank you for joining us as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, we have you guys here today because what's coming up? Is it on the 27th is the Oscars.
Ooh.
Yeah, not the Tonys.
Not the Tonys.
The Oscars.
Tonys are way better.
Academy Awards. The Tonys are better. Tony, you are better.
Not really.
Yeah. But yeah, we wanted to bring you guys on today to talk about all things Oscars and all things film, which of course is why we started the show off with I'm All Right by Kenny Loggins, because what theme song is that? What movie is that the theme song of, Hudak?
My personal favorite, Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Whose balls is it anyway, Danny?
Kenny Loggins do music outside of movies? Was there anything that was famous outside? There was
for sure.
Top Gun, all that stuff.
He did. I'm sure he did some songs. I can't think of.
But like anything we
absolutely.
know about, or is every Kenny Loggins song we know about?
No. I'm pretty sure he had. Like That's
Okay.
why they hired him.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
But I
Yes.
can't name any.
Yeah.
You're right.
So now we got to do a Grammys episode at some point, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We got to find some people for that. The people for that. I don't know. You could call a film critic a film critic, but you don't have like a musician critic, right?
Sure, you have music critics. Sure.
Music critics? I've never met one. At least they've never taught me.
Theater critics for the Tonys.
There's critics.
I'm completely joking about the Tonys, by the way. I've never seen the Tonys.
Yeah.
I'm not a theater guy. Sorry.
No, very cool. Well, again, gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be a fun episode. We got a couple different segments. We're going to be talking about Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress, Best Actor, and Best Picture. Andres, our associate producer, has some thoughts and feelings about that. We'll give him a chance to talk about it later. Did you set your mic up? Did you set your mic up?
I can set it up now.
Have your mic up, man. We want you part of the show. We'll get to have a cool conversation about a lot of the great films that we've seen in the last year. It's all 2021, right? Do they do a few from 2022?
It is March of 2021 through the end of 2021.
Oh, okay.
January, February 2021 actually applied to last year's Oscars.
Oh, okay. So do they apply the January, February films to this year's Oscars? For this year, 2021, 2022? No, they don't.
This year's cutoff was December 2021.
I follow. Very cool. All right, gentlemen. So Hudak, please tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you start Hudak on Hollywood, and what is Hudak on Hollywood all about?
I've been teaching for more than 15 years, and it was the country clubs up in Boca who found me as I was teaching
Oh,
up in
okay.
Boca, and they said, "Hey, Dan, can you come in and give us a lecture on classic films?" And I said, "Sure." And it went well, and then I started doing more and more, and here I am. I have more than 20 different film lectures. I do it at a variety of different retirement communities, country clubs all over South Florida and in Colorado. It's been a really nice business. I'm very proud of how it's grown, and I have a lot of other people handling the lectures for me as well. So I'm really proud of it. Looking forward to keep doing it.
And you started off as a critic.
yes, I was a film critic as well for 20 years here in South Florida, partially thanks to Rene, helped me get my career going. Join critics groups, get to know the reps and everything. So I owe a lot to this man.
That's super cool. How long have you guys known each other?
So Rene, you were in New York when I started down here. I'm not sure when you came to South Florida, but when you came back to South Florida would be when we met. And
That's right.
since
Like I knew who you were and I knew your byline, but we didn't actually meet until I came back in 2008.
Okay, 2000. So
yeah.
14. Good God, 14 years.
Wow, that's so cool. And so Rene, now you are the cinema manager at Bill Cosford Cinema at the University of Miami. When did you start there, and how did you get into that?
So I started there in October. Like Dan said, I was the movie critic for the Miami Herald for 26 years. And about 10 of those years I worked out of New York, but because it was a movie critic, like it didn't matter. And then newspapers started phasing out their movie critics because it wasn't an essential position. So in 2018, right after Moonlight won Best Picture, I switched beats and I became the real estate reporter for the business desk. And in August of last year, the University of Miami reached out. I was already teaching a class there as an adjunct professor, and they reached out and asked me if I would come on full time to manage the Bill Cosford Cinema and continue to teach classes. So I've been there since October.
Okay, and what is the Bill Cosford Cinema?
The Bill Cosford Cinema is a 240 seat movie theater on the campus of the University of Miami. It has a 60-foot screen. It's the biggest screen of any single screen standalone movie theater, not counting Sunset Place or IMAX screens or anything like that. And it's a great movie. We have 4K projection. We have 6.1 sound, and we're revamping, like our scheduling and stuff like that. So right now our schedule is really light, but everything's open to the community, and you can check it out at cosfordcinema.com.
I was wondering about that. So as the resident of Coral Gables or just around town, we can come and watch movies there.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's very
and a
cool.
lot of them are free. So.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So what do you have showing right now?
So for example, next Wednesday and Saturday, the CAC, which is a student-run film club, is showing House of Gucci.
House of Gucci.
9 o'clock on Wednesday and 9 o'clock on Saturday. And all you have to do is show up.
Adam Driver, that one?
Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Ridley Scott directed.
Okay.
And they're showing Licorice Pizza. They're showing Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
I am a big fan of that. I went to see it twice.
Not bigger than me.
Well, here's what happened, right? So I get a call one night, like right when it came out, and I go, "Hey, what's up, Hudak?" And and he's in the car with his wonderful wife. By the way, hi, Adriana. So hopefully she's watching out in Colorado. Calling you out a little bit. I'm sorry.
I think she is.
Oh, great. I love it. I'm your favorite student. Just want to put that out there. So anyway, Hudak and Adriana call me and they're like, "Have you seen it yet?" I go, "No." And she just grabs the phone from him. She goes, "It's the best movie I've ever seen." It was, she enjoyed it so much. They had to call me to tell me. I went, "Don't worry, I'm going to go see it tomorrow." And I went by myself to see it. I've never gone to see a movie by myself before. And it was thrilling. No, it was thrilling. And very, very incredible experience. And I just was like at the edge of my seat the entire film. It was so good. And no spoilers, because there's a lot of people out there who still haven't seen it. But now there's an opportunity to go see it at the Bill Cosford.
Great big screen in 4K.
I'm going to go see it. Tony, you're going to come see it with me.
Sure. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything in a long time, actually. I haven't seen a movie in forever. So
what's the last movie you saw? At the theater. Pre-pandemic?
I kid. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kid you not. Probably Beauty and the Beast, the live action.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
That was the wife dragging me to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Love you, babe.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, we do our part.
That movie was so bad
that
that movie was so bad that I went to the screening and then I didn't review it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Because I hated it so much.
It was bad.
I
agree.
But what do we know?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of any of those live action remakes.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
So just as a discretion, this is a very family oriented show. We have a lot of family that watch, a lot of good friends that watch. So that's why we're always giving out little shout outs. So apologies for calling anybody out. But yeah. So anyway, well, let's since we're talking about film, let's kind of go into our conversation here and talking about the Oscars and some of our nominees. So Andres, if you don't mind, could you throw Best Supporting Actress up on the screen? So in the Best Supporting Actress category, we have a couple great nominations here. We have Kristen Dunst with The Power of the Dog, Ariana DeBose with West Side Story, Jessie Buckley with The Lost Daughter. How would you pronounce the middle name there? Anjanou Ellis with King Richard, and Judi Dench with Belfast. Gentlemen, what do you think?
So I'll start. 8 nominations now for Judi Dench, previously won for Shakespeare in Love. She's had a great career. She's really good as the grandma. But I would say, in terms of who should win versus who will win, Anjanou Ellis is so good in King Richard. She plays the mother of Venus and Serena Williams, obviously opposite Will Smith, who plays the father of Venus and Serena. Her performance knocked me on my feet, off my feet. She gives as good as she gets from Will Smith in the film. Throughout the film, she is an absolute powerhouse. And as I'm watching it, I was thinking she needs to be nominated for supporting actress. Her performance is that good. And that actually jumped out to me more than Will Smith's performance. And Smith, we're going to talk about later as a Best Actor nominee, but I was just blown away by Ellis. So for me, who should win? Ellis. I thought she was just fabulous, Rene.
Well, I think Ariana DeBose should win and is going to win because her performance in West Side Story, she takes a role that was made immortal by Rita Moreno, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who also won an Oscar for that role. And that's a hard act to follow, right? And Ariana DeBose is a very accomplished stage actress, but she hasn't really made many movies. And she makes such an impact in this film that she kind of takes it over from her co-stars. I mean, I was more interested in her story than I was in Maria's story. And she's an incredible dancer. She's an incredible singer, which is a huge part of that role. And she's also in every scene that she's in the best musical number in the movie, which is America.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just dynamic. And you see her in like A Star is Born. And she's multi-talented. So, I mean, she's who I think should win. And she's also going to win.
Yeah, I agree. Ariana DeBose will win the category. She's won all the big precursors going into Oscar night. She's a very worthy winner as well. She's a terrific Anita. And fun fact from Oscar history, we have Ariana DeBose and Rita Moreno, both DeBose eventually will have won Oscars for playing Anita in West Side Story.
How
It
interesting.
happened twice before where we have actors winning acting Oscars for playing the same character.
Ooh. Yeah.
Give us
I
a
think
clue.
who that
Give
could
us a
be. Yeah,
clue.
clue,
Give us a
clue,
clue.
clue.
We're starting the trivia early.
Okay, so mobster movies.
Oh, Corleone.
Yeah,
So it would be Marlon Brando,
Marlon Brando and
and then
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah.
Both known for
Oh,
playing Vito
yeah.
Corleone.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So then the second clue for the second time it happened, comic book movies,
Spider-Man movie.
Ooh.
not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
A recent
Ooh,
comic book.
the Joker.
The Joker.
Oh,
The
Heath Ledger
Joker, yes,
and
Heath
Joaquin
Ledger.
Phoenix.
Better
Yes.
Joaquin Phoenix. So it's happened
Yes.
8 other times where we had nominations for playing the same character,
Interesting.
but it didn't actually follow through and happen. So in this case, it's very likely to happen. Really cool to see.
This is fun.
Rita Moreno. Can you believe the original West Side Story was 60 years ago?
Wow.
now? It feels so fresh still. It's
Right.
so good, the original. And so for Ariana DeBose to come in and knock it out of the park with Rita Moreno right there on the set and also in the movie, it's an amazing performance. Credit to Ariana DeBose.
How cool is that? You know what I'm seeing with a lot of the films that we see here with nominations. I hadn't even realized that some of these films were out. I didn't realize that these films had been made, and I think that, and this is a separate conversation now because we have our predictions, correct? Yeah. Okay. So
it's
DeBose.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting to hear you both talk about it. I guess in times of COVID, I hadn't realized how many movies were being produced. I mean, there's a lot out there right now.
Well, a lot of these, like not a lot, but some of these movies were produced like pre-COVID. Like
Oh, were
West
they?
Side Story was supposed to come out December of 2020.
Okay.
And they launched the campaign, they launched the teaser trailer, and they put the posters in the theater. And then COVID didn't go away by December. And so they realized we have to postpone it a year because we don't want to hurt the box office. But a lot of the movies that you're seeing now, and even Top Gun, which is finally coming out this year,
Right.
was scheduled to come out 2 years ago.
Interesting.
And they just moved Mission Impossible 7, which is in the can, done, back to 2023.
Well, they did that with James Bond. I remember that. It was
They did that
postponed
with
like
James
3
Bond.
times.
Yeah, James Bond moved like I think 3 or 4 times, before they finally released it. So yeah, so some of these movies were not supposed to have come out this year. Like some of these movies were supposed to have come out.
This is all COVID.
It's all COVID related.
We're getting a mixture right now. Some of them were produced beforehand, like West Side Story and Coda. Others started pre-pandemic. King Richard and Power of the Dog both shut down for 8 or 9 months when the pandemic hit, and then they resumed and they were finished. And then there are movies that have just started production post-pandemic, if you will, even though we're not actually post-pandemic, and they're in theaters already, or at least available on streaming.
Interesting.
But back when I used to watch movies a lot more, I remember the rule of thumb was if a movie was pushed, it was a bad sign, right? It was in trouble, a lot of editing, trying to reshoot scenes, and it's usually a bad sign. So that's not the case with recent movies in COVID, obviously. We're just trying not to step on each other or...
Well, there's a movie that just premiered on Hulu this week, Ben Affleck and
Ana de Armas, called Deep Water.
Deep Water, which had been bumped like 3 or 4 times.
I see.
And they finally, instead of releasing it to theaters, they finally dumped it on Hulu.
I see.
So some of those
sometimes
movies,
it's bad, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's just that
Yeah.
they just don't want it.
By the way, Ana de Armas is my future ex-wife. Just making sure everybody knows this.
But there are
Not a
also,
bad choice.
No.
there are also success stories with that. Usually, you're right. It's a bad sign.
Master and Commander.
Master, sure.
For me.
But also Titanic got bumped 6 months.
Okay.
So
Did it really?
You get supposed to open July of 97, didn't open until December. You do get these success stories that are bumped for good reasons. Usually, though, it's not good when they're bumped.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and transition into Best Supporting Actor. Andres, if you don't mind throwing it up on the screen. In The Power of the Dog, we have Jesse Plemons. In The Power of the Dog, we also have, is that Cody Smith McPhee? Being the Ricardos, we have J.K. Simmons. Belfast, we have Sidan Hins. Syrian. I can't see it. Kieran Hines. Hines. Thank you. Wow. It's okay. I'm the only
I
one.
recognize one name.
And in Coda, we have Troy Kotzer. Gentlemen?
You want to go first this time?
So I kind of agree with like my should win would be Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of the Dog, a movie that I did not love. However, his character to me, he plays Kirsten Dunst's son, and he has to deal with this uncle played by
Benedict
Cumberbatch, who is not a very nice person. It's a very deceptive performance because you think the character is one thing all the way up to the very end of the film, and then it is revealed in a very great way that character is something completely different. The Power of the Dog is a movie that really benefits from watching it twice, because the first time you're watching it and you're watching it at a surface level, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second time, when you know what's going on, it's a very different movie. And I think his performance does a really good job of striking the balance between this kind of vulnerable boy and what he turns out to be in the end, which we shall not spoil.
Yeah, he's really, Cody Smith McPhee, really terrific. The ending packs a wallop because of his character in large part. And yeah, I agree. He was terrific. But my should win and will win is Troy Kotzer. He plays the father in Coda. Coda is an acronym. If you're not familiar with the film, it's on Apple TV. Coda is an acronym for Child of Deaf Adults. Amelia Jones plays the girl in the film who has the ability to hear, but her parents are deaf and her brother is deaf. It's a beautiful movie in a lot of ways. I'm going to gush about it when we discuss Best Picture later.
Okay.
But I'll say Troy Kotzer is funny, touching, sweet, kind of gruff when he needs to be. It's a fabulous performance. He's the favorite to win. And I will say this, if he wins, it'll be a very worthy win, and he'll be only the second deaf actor to win an acting Oscar.
Who was first?
First was his co-star, the woman who plays the mother in the film, Marlee Matlin. She won. Remember the movie she won for?
Children of a Lesser God.
Yeah, 1986. Children of a Lesser God. It's been a while, but together they are terrific. Troy Kotzer, I hope he wins. He's going to give a great speech. He is such a joyful individual. To see him in interviews, the way he carries himself, I would love to see him win. That is so. You guys could just have Oscars trivia amongst yourselves. You've got so much knowledge.
Just a really quick story about Marlee Matlin. William Hurt passed away over the weekend, and he was her co-star in Children of a Lesser God, which is the movie that she won the Oscar for. And in the book that she wrote, she said that in the limo ride on the way back from the Oscar ceremony, that William Hurt started berating her and saying, you don't deserve that.
How
Like,
interesting.
what have you done? to
Oh,
win
this
that
this
Oscar?
is the West Wing, Marley Matlin. This she was in the West Wing.
Yes,
yes.
she was also-
Now I know who
she
you're
was
talking
also-
about.
she was also
Yes,
on- But apparently,
Yes.
William Hurt berated her. in
yes,
the
I heard
limousine.
this.
While they were dating, by the
While-
way,
like,
they
while
were
they were dating,
engaged,
yes.
but they
Wow.
were dating, he said to her something to the effect of, there are actors who work their whole lives to achieve what you have
Exactly.
achieved tonight. What have you worked at? And it's just like,
And he was his
Oh.
and he was her co-star in the movie.
and she
Like,
is
he's
a
in the movie with her.
23-year-old deaf woman with the greatest night of her life, most likely winning Best Actress at the Oscars, and her fiance is really just crapping on her.
Right.
It's
That's
kind
insane.
of an awful story.
Right.
Oh, that kind of stories happen all the time in film. I mean, there's so many just the traumatizing experiences for actors and actresses.
Yeah.
But I will say one, and because I said I would talk about Caddyshack a little bit.
Mhm.
But for anybody that really, really loves this movie, with all the drama that we see with actors and actresses, and this is a little trivia. I don't know, Hudak, you're going to get it. I know you are. There's one scene in the movie where two of the main actors are together for only 5 minutes. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Chevy Chase
Yep.
and
Bill Murray.
They hated each other.
Right.
Yeah, they couldn't stand it because of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, is that why? See, I didn't know
Yeah.
that part.
it was Saturday Night Live.
They hated each other. And so they filmed that scene. And I'm sure you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I rewatched it this week in honor of us. They filmed the scene where Chevy Chase gets the golf ball in Bill Murray's shack. That had to be done in one take with the whiskey shot and all that, one take.
Mhm.
And it's
But both men were famous for not getting along with people.
Right.
I mean, Chevy Chase had issues all the way into what was the show? He was on Community, all the way, and then Bill Murray and Ghostbusters and that whole saga. So they're both they're geniuses,
they are
but they're
for a little egotistical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't sue us, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase, for calling you out. But that's that's in relevant to these conversations. Is that there's a lot of drama that we don't see, on the inside.
Sure.
The film industry is a tough business to be in. So, what inspired both of you to get into this industry? I mean,
So for me, I grew up watching Siskel and Ebert with my parents, right? So
Okay.
I always loved movies. And when I got to college, my undergrad was Bard College in upstate New York. And I was like, oh, cool. I can actually study this. Nice. And so I just kept doing it and got my master's from University of Miami and just always loved movies. And for me, it was, desire to understand why movies were able to make me react the way they did. I remember J.J. Abrams once said that he saw E.T. as a kid, and that made him want to make movies. When I saw E.T. as a kid, it kind of clicked in my mind. I wanted to know why I was responding as powerfully as I was to that movie. What's it doing well, and how is it doing it?
interesting.
That's always intrigued me. That's why I never got into the production or the industry side of the business. I was always interested in how movies as an art form are affecting us consciously or subconsciously.
How interesting, Rene.
I actually went into it from the film production standpoint. Like I wanted to make movies, but this was 1984, so there were no video cameras. It was Super 8 film. It was very laborious. It was extremely expensive. You had to have like wealthy connections or wealthy family to make even a short film. And while I was studying at I started writing movie reviews for the Hurricane. Not Bill Cosford did for me what Siskel and Ebert did for you,
Right.
where I was like, and so I realized then that I really enjoyed writing about film, and making movies was just not like my thing. Like it just wasn't feasible. Like
Yeah.
today would be a different thing, but that's where the bug bit.
That is very cool. Very cool. Tony, what inspired you to love movies?
I used to. I lived with 2 Full Sail grads right out of college. So I went to UF and then came back to Miami, and my roommates were Full Sail grads, and they were making short films and trying to break into the biz. And we all made commercials together. We won an Addy. We did a commercial for Jackson Memorial, and so I had a little taste of it. And I was really into film back then. Just don't watch anything anymore. But actually, one of my roommates and a very good friend of mine to this day made his first feature, I think last year or 2 years ago, and Countdown, which was he wrote and directed, and it was in every theater in the country practically. And it was a movie where you download an app, it tells you when you die. It's a Halloween jump scare movie,
Oh, interesting.
but it did pretty well. The critics didn't absolutely love it, but the audience did, which is I think the more important metric. And yeah, so anyway, I was surrounded by it, immersed in it, and so I do like film actually. So nice try at the gotcha.
Yeah, nice try.
How about you, Nick? Did you have a teacher who was particularly inspiring to you at any point?
Oh no.
in your life?
Yeah, his name was actually Hudak. But well, now that we put it out there, so for any of our audience, Hudak and I go all the way back to 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade,
When I made you cry.
when you made me cry for writing me up for talking in class, but there were about 20 of us, so I wasn't the only one. But yes, Dan Hudak, Mr. Hudak, was my film appreciation, broadcast journalism, and senior film seminar teacher. So a lot of the skills that I have today on In the City with Resource City, it comes from our class together.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I'm not. You get to see my wonderful face. Okay, let's calm down here. So that's our history, and to this day we remain great friends. I shoved you in a pool about 2 years ago for writing me up, so I got him back. That was
True
good.
story.
Yeah, true story. Well, so now that we're talking about the Oscars, let's. I have a question for both of you because this is for our audience. So folks that may not really know how the Oscars are set up, and it actually has to do with a little trivia game that I have organized for us. But there's the big 5 awards in the Oscars. What are the big 5 awards? This is not part of the trivia. I just want you guys to be able to tell our audience a little bit about that.
Best picture, best actor, actress, supporting actor, and supporting.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yes, so that's the 5 topics we're going to be discussing today. But what are some of like the minor awards that we see in the Oscars?
Costume design,
Right.
production design, visual effects, editing, cinematography, song, score.
I wouldn't call editing and cinematography small awards.
You wouldn't.
No, I would call sound editing
They don't have anymore. It's
or
just best
sound
Yeah.
recording. But I mean, editing is integral to a movie, right? I mean, like we were just talking right now about the lack of editing nomination for Birdman. Like a good editor can save a movie, right?
Sure.
And cinematography is huge
Sure.
because it's how the movie looks.
I think I'm more classifying it as there's the big ones and then the kind of below the line ones.
The technical
So
one.
that's how
Yeah.
I'm,
Technical
I'm
ones.
looking at. For what it's worth, I think Dune's going to win the most technical awards this year. Artistically, Dune is
Andre?
I just made that
extraordinary,
prediction earlier.
Uh-huh.
impressive. So Dune could very well win the most Oscars this year.
Oh,
That doesn't mean it's going to win Best Picture.
All
It
right.
could win the most total
There you
Oscars
go,
this year.
Andres, go ahead. Tell us what you love
Yes.
about Dune.
So the thing that I like most about Dune is actually something that I think like people tend to take for granted most of the time. What do you find that is often very commonly used in most action movies, most sci-fi movies, or most superhero movies? Large cities with big buildings and big explosions and stuff like that. Dune is a sci-fi movie that's people were kind of sort of trying to compare it to Star Wars because they had a lot of like lore built up in the story and whatnot, but it's so different than that. And that's why I think like when people say sci-fi, they automatically think of Star Wars and like space travel and stuff, but that's not what Dune was ever about. Dune was about one place, one planet, Arrakis, right? And the whole idea is to put you in the mood, to put you in the mind frame of these characters that are trying to inhabit this world. And I think they did that so masterfully that it overshadowed any other, like, you know, from an acting standpoint or from a, you know, directing standpoint. You know, maybe there are some arguments there. A lot of people said it was a slow movie. A lot of people said that, what's her name? The Spider-Man No Way Home.
Zendaya.
Zendaya didn't show up like in as a physical like person outside of a dream for very, very long, for a while, and then showed up at the end, and that's it. This movie was basically done. But I'm never gonna get over the shots, the environment, like the way they were able to build up the creatures, like those giant worm things and stuff like that. Like as far as a setting goes, it just like 11 out of 10 across the board for me. I don't know. I just think it way better than any other movie. And I think that because of that, it overshadows the strengths of what other movies that are competing with it might have.
I'm gonna let the film critics come in now.
And I would agree. It can very well win cinematography. It can very well win production design, score. Hans Zimmer for the score actually created new sounds that he thought would exist in the future.
Hmm.
From a technical and production standpoint, Dune is extraordinarily impressive. I do agree with you. So that's why I said it can win a lot of the below the line technical awards.
Also, have you read the book?
I have it. I haven't read it though. I have it sitting in my bedroom though.
Because another thing that I really admire about the movie is that book is not easy to film. When David Lynch famously tried it, there's been miniseries about it, and that movie is the book, at least the first half of it. It's really, really impressive how they were able to adapt it into film. And Zendaya is going to have a lot to do in part 2.
How interesting.
And I meant Javier Bardem will have more to do in part 2 as well.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Oh,
And there's going to be a lot more worms.
A lot more worms.
Mhm,
I like the worms.
mhm.
Wow, very cool. Andres, thank you very much for your
It was good input.
yeah, great input, man.
Happy to
One day we got to have him on the show with
Yeah.
us. So we this show would not exist without Andres over here. So don't tell Elian that; he'll get mad. He'd get a little upset. All right, so let's go ahead and do some Oscar trivia. Unfortunately, I don't have a prize, so this is just for pride. You can win the Winwood Brewing Company bottle opener here. Thank you, Winwood Brewing Company, for providing the award today.
He ripped that out of my hand earlier, so
Yeah, it does mean a lot to me. It's been in my car.
Not nothing.
It's not nothing. It's an essential tool. It's an essential item that everybody should have in their home. All right. So the way we'll do this is if you feel like you have the answer, just raise your hand real fast because I don't have any buzzers, unfortunately. And
it's kind of rinky-dink production is this?
I don't know. It's called In the City with Resource City. And it's, yeah. So like I said, if you think you know the answer, raise your hand. And the persons whose hand I see go up first, I will give you the opportunity to answer. Okay. All right. So first question. That doesn't count. Now you're disqualified. In what year did the first Academy Award ceremony take place?
1929.
Ding, 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 ding. Correct. I'm going to give you the card as your ticket for prize. So that's how you know you're going to
Cherish that.
All right. This is a good question for me because I'm absolutely obsessed with this movie.
So many jokes. Go ahead.
So many jokes?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Why did Marlon Brando refuse his award for Best Actor in The Godfather in 1972? I think his hand went up first.
His went first.
His did?
But I think they both know it.
I will add to whatever Rene says.
No, I'll let you have it.
Thank you. He was protesting the treatment of Native Americans in American films. Specifically, you could point to the John Wayne, John Ford collaborations, the Cavalry trilogy. He actually sent a Native American actress named Sasheen Littlefeather
I do remember.
to the stage to not accept the award on his behalf, but to refuse the award on his behalf.
Wow.
And then she gave a speech about the treatment of Native Americans in American films. Gutsy for Brando to do, but that was Marlon Brando.
That's amazing. Very interesting. And how was that received?
You know, people complain about how political the Oscars and celebrities are now, and things back then, they were doing similar things. It wasn't as omnipresent as it is now. I don't think it was received well, to be honest with you, because I also recall there was outcry, people speaking against the fact that things like that would happen. So I don't think it was received well. Do you have a better sense of
No. The Oscars are about Hollywood celebrating itself, right? And so they're not going to like anything that takes away from that. And the Best Actor Oscar is one of the biggest ones that you can get.
Yeah.
So, but I think what's interesting in history, The Godfather still has Best Actor Marlon Brando. Like whether he accepted it or not,
Sure.
he still won it. So
Interesting.
Was it the treatment of the actors or the portrayal of the Native Americans in the movie?
I think it was a portrayal.
Portrayal
Got
of
it.
Native Americans. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Actually, treatment and portrayal, I think. That's both.
Both.
Really?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't think treatment would be in it because I didn't think there were many Native American actors cast
Right.
in those movies.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Maybe treatment as a general term.
Gotcha.
All right, so there's your prize. All right. Let's go ahead and move into a little bit more modern. What film did Martin Scorsese win the Oscar for in 2006? Hudak put his hand up first.
The Departed.
Well done.
Long overdue.
Yes. Well deserved.
By the way.
Great movie. I watched that movie in your class. One of the only movies I didn't fall asleep for.
Did Hudak tell you about the X's in the movie?
The X's?
Mhm.
What about the X's?
So there's X's hidden all over the movie.
Oh, how interesting.
And if you Google Rene Rodriguez, The Departed, X marks the spot, you will find the blog post that I did, and I took frame grabs from the film. There are X's throughout the movie. Some of them are gigantic.
How interesting.
Some of them are like next, and they symbolize death.
Yeah.
It was originally used in the 1932 version of Scarface, and so Scorsese just borrowed that visual trope. You can watch the movie and not notice it, but if you ever watch The Departed again, the X's are everywhere. You can't miss them.
There you go. Some
stuff.
trivia, film trivia
Okay.
too.
We're such nerds.
I love this. All right. I hope I'm gonna throw him a bone. So I'm gonna give Tony this question.
Me?
Yeah, well, you're participating here,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
All right. What was the most expensive Oscar winner?
Oh, I would. It's got to be
It's-
recent.
It's also the most.
Avatar.
Well done. Can you hand that to Tony, please?
Oh, I get a card.
You do get the card.
Thank you.
We're gonna skip this one because we just did that.
Oh.
What was the first movie to ever win the Academy Award for Best Picture?
Wings.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was a trick question because that was kind of part of like the first Oscars. So that's why I hesitated, because I was like, well, wait.
Yeah, and there was a best artistic production that went to
Yes.
Sunrise, and then the best movie. Like it was there was almost 2 Best Picture winners at the first Oscars.
Right. But
So
I'm
either-
going to let Dan have it.
Okay, we'll let him have it, or we could just throw the question out.
No.
We'll let him have it. Vote's okay.
You gave me the card.
I did give you the card. All right. There are 3 movies, just 3 movies that have won the Big 5 awards, which we've already talked about. You named just one.
Oh, do you know this? I will give.
Oh, Silence of the Lambs.
That's it right there.
What?
Yeah.
There were 3. Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
And allow me. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and It Happened One Night. The greatest romantic comedy ever made. It happened
Agreed.
one night.
Oh, he named 2 of 3.
But the answer
Yeah.
was, the
What
question
year-
was name
year in
one.
the card?
All right. Can give him the card. I'll give him the card. Just pass the card over. By the way, Silence of the Lambs is one of my all-time favorite movies.
The question was they won an award in all 5 categories.
In
Okay.
the Big 5.
Big-
Director, actor,
Got it.
actress, screenplay, and picture.
Andres has a question.
So I have a super quick question. This is mostly out of curiosity. The mention of Silence of the Lamb actually made me think about it. How often do movies in the horror genre make it to Oscar nominations?
Interesting.
That's a good question.
Rarely. The horror films that have been nominated, you can basically count on one hand, and you have to include psychological thrillers. Get Out a couple years ago, the pure horror movie that was nominated for 10 Oscars, including Best Picture, is The Exorcist. Psycho in 1960. Back
Mhm.
then it was horror. Today we'd call it a psychological
Yeah.
thriller. That was, I believe, a Best Picture nominee. Hitchcock not nominated for director for it.
He won 0 awards.
It is
Insane.
rare. Yeah, Hitchcock 0 for 5 in his career in the Best Director category. It is rare for a horror or psychological thriller movie to be nominated for picture and director.
Very interesting.
What was the name of that movie with the monsters that could like listen to sound and stuff? The one that had
Oh yeah.
on
On
Krasinski.
Netflix, the one?
Quiet Place.
Quiet
A Quiet
Quiet
Place.
Place. Did that one? Does that category? Would that's more like thriller, right?
No, that would be a sci-fi horror.
Yeah,
Sci-fi horror. You think?
Interesting. Good
Did that get
questions.
nominated at all? Yeah.
No.
No.
I think
Wow.
Quiet Place Part 2 is up for sound or
Yeah, sound
something
is
like
on
that this year.
Man,
But it's not.
It's a
That's
great
never
movie,
going to
though.
be a Best Picture nominee.
Wow.
I thought it was great.
Very interesting. Well, let's go ahead and go for like a subcategory. What is the only James Bond film song to have ever won Best Song?
Oh, I know it.
Ooh.
I think it's Live and Let Die.
Oh.
Oh,
Not the Paul McCartney one?
nobody does it better.
No, there's actually been 2.
Oh, there have. Oh, see, I knew I was going to get something wrong here.
Oh.
I think both Spectre and Skyfall.
Skyfall was the
Oh,
answer. So
Adele.
Spectre
what's his
probably.
name, and Adele's
Adele.
Nice.
song,
So the recent.
Interesting.
Skyfall.
I thought Paul McCartney
One.
did one that was.
Live and
Live and Let Die. is
Yeah,
out
but
of-
that- but
He's
that-
looking it up. He's going to correct me.
Huh.
I'll give that to you. All right. Let's just do 1 or 2 more questions because we want to get back to the segments. How many Oscars has the movie Titanic won?
11. Oh, sorry.
he that counts. I'll give it to him.
11. And may I add, only Titanic, the original Ben-Hur,
Yep.
and Lord of the Rings: Return of the King have earned
Correct.
11 Oscars. It is an extraordinarily unique company
Yeah.
that those movies are in.
Very cool.
You never would have guessed it with Return of the King.
No, no. Where are the Academy Awards held each year?
Well, the city, Los Angeles,
Yeah,
the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion.
No, dude, that's like 20 years ago.
I'm going to take a card away for that.
It's not Man Chinese anymore, or is that
It's
something else?
right next to it. It's either the Dolby or the Kodak Theater.
Dolby
That
Theater
was
in
Dolby
Hollywood.
now.
I'll give it to you.
Dolby now.
All right. Let's see. Let's ask one more question. And a couple of you will be able to answer this one. What was the first sequel to a movie to ever win Best Picture?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well,
The Godfather.
Yes.
There it is.
The better,
AKA
the
my
better
favorite,
movie.
my favorite movie.
Listen, everybody
Yes.
says that The Godfather Part 2 is
It
the
is.
best Godfather. I personally think that The Godfather Part 3 is the best.
Oh, by far. By far.
Because, I like seeing a softened Don Corleone. Yeah, give me that. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
That and Jaws 4.
Jaws 4. That's
Jaws 3D.
Come on. If you've never read The Godfather, you have to read the book before. If you've never seen the movie,
Is it Jaws
Great.
3 or 4?
go read the book. I read the book before I saw the movie, and the first chapter is like over 100 pages, and I could not let it go. I sat there at a coffee shop when I was up in St. Augustine, opened the book, and just became absolutely obsessed with it. I could not put it down. And then I read a couple of his other Mario Puzo books. Out of this world. So, but we're talking about film here, so we're going to go back to film. So I think that we should come back and talk about Best Actress nominees. Andres, would you do the honors, please? What did I do with my card? So we have Best Actress nominees here today. For The Eyes of Tammy Faye, we have Jessica Chastain. For The Last Daughter, we have Olivia Colman. In Spencer, we have Kristen Stewart. In Being the Ricardos, we have Nicole Kidman. And in Madres Paralelas,
Parallel Mothers, yeah.
is it the Spanish? But is it not?
Americanize it, dude.
I'm not going to. Okay, Penelope Cruz. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Of the 4 acting categories, this is the most up in the air, hardest to guess, hardest to predict. I was quite taken by Kristen Stewart in Spencer. I think the movie is an absolute bore, but her performance as Princess Diana is extraordinarily impressive. I'll also give Nicole Kidman credit. Her Lucille Ball, she looks nothing like Lucy, but I think she did a nice job of capturing the mannerisms and gestures of it. But for my will win and should win, I go with Jessica Chastain. I thought her Tammy Faye Baker was way over the top, but in a great way. She's a lot of fun to watch. There's a connection between winning makeup and hair at the Oscars and winning Best Actress. She won the big precursor awards going into Oscar night. I'm hoping Jessica Chastain could win, but I will say this. The Academy loves Olivia Colman. They showed that last year when they nominated her for The Father, showed that a couple years ago when she won Best Actress for The Favorite. I would not be surprised if it's Olivia Colman, but I think it's going to be Jessica Chastain. She's my best guess. Nobody knows for sure. It's a fun category. They should really wait until well into the ceremony, like the second to last one before Best Picture, before awarding it, because a lot of people are just wondering who the heck's going to take this.
Yeah, I think this is a category that's going to decide a lot of office pools this year, because a lot of the other categories are kind of easy to predict. And I totally agree with what you said. Kristen Stewart is fantastic in a movie that's not great, but I thought she is phenomenal, and she has been phenomenal in so many movies after her Twilight stuff, and she really
great
hasn't
movies.
gotten.
And there it is.
And she hasn't
Where you been,
gotten-
Lil? Okay.
she hasn't gotten the recognition she deserves. I think because of Twilight. She wasn't nominated by SAG. She wasn't nominated by anyone in this movie. So I think it's interesting that the Academy voters nominated her.
Yeah.
And I think that's not to be underestimated. The fact that she's nominated here, the Screen Actors Guild did not. That said, I agree with you that I think Jessica Chastain is gonna take it. I didn't love the movie, but she's fantastic in it, and she seems to have the momentum. But watch out for a Kristen Stewart upset. It would be a great Oscar moment.
Yeah.
And nobody's calling it.
Yeah, I think this is Kristen Stewart's opportunity to make up for Twilight.
It's an interesting category because you have 3 previous winners in Kidman and Cruz and Coleman. And so you think, okay, well, they won before. It's a toss-up, so maybe that's a reason to go in the direction of Stewart and Chastain. Stewart's first career nomination. And what hurts Stewart is that even though she is so good, and I absolutely agree, she deserves a lot more credit for her post-Twilight career than what she's received. She's also the film's only nomination.
I don't know.
And when you're the film's only nomination, it's harder to win the big Oscars.
Right.
It does happen. Julianne Moore did it. Charlize Theron did it. It does happen, but it's unusual. Whereas Jessica Chastain, her third career nomination, the film's also nominated in makeup and hair, which is probably going to win. She won the big precursor at the Screen Actors Guild. That's why I think the smart money goes to Chastain. And Chastain did something really cool this week. You guys may have heard that the Academy is putting 8 categories. They're awarding it before the actual telecast, and they're going to edit it into the broadcast itself. And one of those categories is makeup and hair. And Chastain said something that I think is going to get her a lot of support throughout her colleagues in the Academy. She said she's not going to walk the red carpet. She wants to be in the room when her colleagues for the Eyes of Tammy Faye, which, by the way, it's on HBO Max if you're so inclined to watch it, when they hopefully are awarded. She wants to be in the room to support them when they are awarded. I think that's going to play really well with the Academy. And oh, by the way, voting opens today, and it goes through, today's the 17th, goes through the 22nd. I think she's saying the right thing at the right time. She's been around a while. I think it's very much going to be her moment, Jessica Chastain.
She has a good strategist. I hear that these big awards and the studios and the actors sometimes they hire big shot PR people to help them strategize these campaigns. I mean, it's a real campaign. It's almost
So it's a performance
campaign.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, so these things are strategic sometimes. It's not.
Absolutely.
I just want to be there for someone sat down and said, "Okay, we're going to strategize this, and this is a good moment for you." And I've heard that she's insufferable in real life. By the way, I don't. Not that I know her, but I've heard that. So I'm going to go with K-Stu just for that.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
And the Twilight snubs.
Yeah, can we bring Twilight back so we can get them some nominations?
No.
I drive the car from Twilight. Does that matter? Okay, well, we're gonna move on.
You do?
I do. That's the car from. You never knew that?
I just realized.
Yeah, the little Volvo with the hatchback.
Yes.
Yeah. Why? My car's name is Twilight. Just so everybody knows. Why are you laughing?
He said he would do this. This is why we're laughing.
No, but that was funny though. You made me laugh. You made me cry.
Yeah, so I get made fun of it for it, but I think my car's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, All right, let's move into best. What did we do? Best. What do we have here?
Actor. It should be up to actor, right?
Yeah. Did we? Yeah, we just did best actress. Now we're moving into best actor. Best actor.
Oh, best.
We did best supporting at the start. We're doing best actor now. In The Tragedy of Macbeth, we have Denzel Washington. In The Power of the Dog, we have Benedict Cumberbatch. Stop, man.
This is why you can't do it, though. You can't do Will Smith.
In King Richard, we have Will Smith. Welcome to Miami.
I guess.
Yeah. The Fresh Prince of Coral Gables. And being the Ricardos, we have Javier Bardem. And Tick, Tick, Boom, we have Andrew Garfield. Gentlemen, take it away.
So I think this comes down to 2 people. I mean, this is a really strange set of nominations.
Yes.
3 of these nominations have 0 chance of winning.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think it's between Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog and Will Smith for King Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I think who I believe should win is Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog. He plays a very multi-layered character who is impossible to like. He starts the movie in a certain way, and by the end of the movie, that character reveals hidden depths and shades that you didn't know were there. And I think he plays it extremely well. He plays both extremes extremely well. But I don't think anyone is stopping the Will Smith train this time. Will Smith is beloved. He has been nominated before, but has never won. And I just feel like he has the momentum, even though I don't think it's a great performance. I think Will Smith has been better in other movies. I'm not fond of, just in general, I'm not fond of awarding people who are playing someone based on real life, because it's kind of, unless you're Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot, that's extraordinary, right? But for the most part, I tend to think of them more as very good imitations
Mhm.
than they are performances. And Benedict Cumberbatch's character in The Power of the Dog. Have you guys seen it?
Not yet.
Or the
No.
dog-
No, but I've read about it.
Yeah, his character is like, he's such an intriguing character,
Mhm.
and you can't quite peg him down. And Cumberbatch, I think, plays that role so well. But Will Smith is unstoppable, and who doesn't like Will Smith, right? And his acceptance speech is going to be great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. Couple fun facts about the nominees here. 9th acting nomination in Denzel Washington's career. He's won twice before. Boys, what did he win for?
Training Day
No.
Training Day.
and
I don't know.
Best actor, Training Day.
12 Years a Slave?
Supporting actor. No, he wasn't in 12 years.
I was thinking of somebody else. You
Hold
can't,
on.
that's why I don't.
Hold on,
Hudak. I didn't learn a lot in
Philadelphia?
class,
Was he
clearly.
Philadelphia?
No, Tom Hanks won for Philadelphia.
Tom
Was he
Hanks won for
supporting?
Philadelphia.
Oh, so was
Wait, I know this. Wait, it's on the tip of my tongue.
1989.
I'm very
Civil War.
sure. Like I did.
Oh, Glory.
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 Yes.
Wow.
Glory.
Here, you get a card for that.
The
Give him a-
whipping scene where the single
him a
tear
card for
comes
that.
down.
You got
That
a
was
card
best
for that.
supporting-
That's-
That was best supporting,
Wait,
right?
Supporting, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the question.
There's a scene in Glory where he's getting whipped or flogged, or whatever, and there's one single. He just takes it, and it's silent, and it's like a minute or 2 minutes of agony, and there's one single tear that comes down. And that's when I decided that Denzel Washington is my favorite actor.
Oh, how cool is that?
He's had a hell
He
of
is
a career.
absolutely phenomenal.
He is a legend already. Everything he does now just adds to it.
And he's beloved.
Yes.
Who doesn't love Denzel Washington?
Yes, I
Like
agree.
in the public and in the industry. I mean, he's just a.
One last thing about him too, just you have to see his guarantee reel if you haven't seen it. Where every time Denzel Washington says "I guarantee it" in a movie, it's like 2 minutes long on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Wow.
He
Really?
says I guarantee it in every movie he's in. It's like
Wow.
Tom Cruise running. That's Denzel's thing. He guarantees you
I
stuff.
did not know
Sorry.
that.
Yeah, check it out. You'll love it.
Wow.
Okay, second fun fact for you from these nominees. Javier Bardem, married to Penelope Cruz.
Oh.
Together, they are the 6th married couple to be nominated for acting Oscars in the same year.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know this.
Most famous example, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton,
Okay.
nominated for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in 1966. She won, and he didn't. Richard Burton went 0 for 7 in his career at the Oscars.
And they both won, right? Penelope
As she did
and
for her
Javier.
marriage.
Yeah, Penelope Cruz won for Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Javier Bardem won a year earlier for No Country for Old Men. So they're both
No,
previous
for
winners.
Before Night Falls.
No, Bardem won supporting actor for No Country for Old Men.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think he was nominated for Before Night
Embarrassed.
I
Falls.
could have sworn he won for that.
Maybe he should have. He was really good.
'Cause he's really good in it.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so best actor this year, I agree. It's coming down to Cumberbatch and Will Smith. There are layers and complexity to what Cumberbatch does and The Power of the Dog that are just extraordinary. The arc of that character is something that you don't see coming,
Mhm.
and it really, really hits you, and it hits well. It's so effective. It's such a terrific performance. But Will Smith has all the momentum. Like Rene said, he's one of the big precursors. He's the heavy favorite to win. You know, him and Ali, or him in The Pursuit of Happiness,
Mm.
I'm with you. I think those could be considered better performances. Those are his previous nominations. Better performances than what he does as Richard Williams here. I did think I liked the performance more than you did. I think he's really good as Richard. Best of his career? No. But sometimes you get actors who've been around a while and you just get the sense that it's their time.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman a couple years ago for playing Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour. Veteran actor, well respected, not necessarily A-list, but it's his time because he gives a knockout performance. That's Will Smith here. It's his time, and I'm okay with it. Like, for as good as Cumberbatch is, Smith winning for this, I'm okay with that.
Very interesting.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm still rooting for Kristen Stewart.
You're
I'm
stuck
sorry.
on.
Just thought it would be
Whatever.
funny to say that.
Yeah.
He's laughing. He's laughing. I got him laughing again. All right, let's take a minute to review some of our comments before we move into our final segment, which is Best Picture. What do we got here? Justina says, here at the bottom, can you hit it?
How much? Oh yeah.
How much time have you actually spent watching all these movies? Like one day on average, or wow, gonna call it out.
So I won't speak for Rene, but I know for when we were working as critics, by the time that awards came, we had already seen everything easily because we saw everything throughout the course of the year. Now we're both retired critics, and we're still members of film critics groups.
Right.
So we get sent the screeners and we see these movies in December, long before a lot of the voting bodies that we're discussing now, like the Academy, have seen these films. So I can't put a real time frame on it exactly, but we certainly see these movies prior to the end of 2021, most likely, whereas most others who are involved in the voting process will see it early 2022. You want to add to that?
No, the only thing that I will add is that I did spend 8 hours watching Drive My Car. 'Cause Drive My Car is actually 8 hours long. I'm
Whoa.
not even
Fun.
making this up right now.
It's-
It's 8 hours long.
It's 3 brilliant hours.
It's 8 hours. It feels like
We'll talk about that in Best Picture.
Okay. Second,
Cabrera?
Ralph Cabrera. What did he say there? Hudak is right. It was not. Oh, he's referring to Marlon Brando's
received
protest. It was not received well and actually hurt Brando. How interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Cabrera.
Thanks, Dad. What do we got above? Good job, Ibrahim Jibri. We got wow, Justina. There's some comments at the top there.
Oh, we have a happy face from Elise.
Oh, is it from previous shows? Well, I think that.
It doesn't clean them up.
Oh yeah, but I think there was a St. Patty's Day one up there. Oh, it's from other shows, from other episodes, not from here today. I understand. Well, now that we're talking about that, gentlemen, happy St. Patty's Day.
Thank you. I feel like I should watch Brooklyn or Once or
Tony, would you
something
do me a
today.
favor and pinch Renee while I
I can
pinch
pinch Renee.
Hudak?
There you go.
or
not wearing
Leprechaun.
a pinch.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Leprechaun.
And myself.
I'm the only one that's wearing the green because, you know, I'm in
Le-
celebration.
Early Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun.
Oh, my future ex-wife.
Not my choice. Not my choice for you.
Okay, thanks. Anna de Armas as it is.
Way back.
Okay, let's go to Best Picture. All right. So for Best Picture, we have 10 nominations.
Mhm.
All right. We have Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Dune, Drive My Car, Belfast, Licorice Pizza. No, thank you. The Power of the Dog, West Side Story of 2021, King Richard, and Coda. Gentlemen, should win, would win.
So my should win here is Coda. It's a dear, sweet, beautiful, poignant, touching, funny, heartwarming movie that I absolutely loved. It is on Apple TV Plus. What I tell people is if you don't get Apple TV Plus, it's $5 a month if you have an Apple Mac product. Take it for a month. Watch Tragedy of Macbeth with it. Watch Ted Lasso, all the other things on Apple TV Plus. Coda was by far my favorite movie of the year, and I don't cry at movies anymore. Jaded, cynical.
You cry?
Watching movies so long.
He used to.
I
Oh,
cried at 2 different scenes in Coda. I think the movie is that good. It
Wow.
moved me and I was just so touched by it. So Coda definitely should win. It was my number 1 movie of the year of 2021. Number 2 and number 3 were The Power of the Dog at number 2 and Drive My Car at number 3. I think Drive My Car is terrific. Drive My Car is guaranteed to win international feature. And here's why. Best Picture is the 10 best movies of the year, regardless of the style of the film. So if it's animation, documentary, it doesn't matter. Best Picture are the 10 best of the year. Drive My Car is the only international feature nominee that's in Best Picture. The Academy has already declared Drive My Car is the best of the international feature category. Logic dictates that it has to win international feature. Of course, logic and the Academy do not go hand in hand. And we have some really good movies in international feature along with Drive My Car. The Worst Person in the World is a trip. So much fun. Really enjoyed that one as well. But The Power of the Dog is the real strong contender. It's the big dog, if you will. It's leading the pack, if you will.
I like that.
I don't like
Throw the
this.
man a bone.
Okay.
If you will. Boom.
Thank you. Well done, sir. This is a technical masterpiece in a lot of ways. It is a gorgeous movie to look at. If it wins cinematography, Ari Wegner, the cinematographer, will be the first woman to win that category. 94 years of Oscars, she could be the first woman to win that category. Big competition going against Dune in cinematography. But the production design, the score, everything about Power of the Dog is a technical masterpiece. And story-wise is where some may argue it struggles a little bit. But like we've been saying, the ending packs a wallop. The performances, 4 acting nominations for the film. The performances are terrific all around. This is a masterful movie in a lot of ways. It's very likely to win Best Picture. I will not argue very much with that. It's my number 2 movie of the year. It just so happens that Coda is bringing some momentum to the table right now. So I'm hoping Coda can pull it off, but I've been predicting The Power of the Dog all season. And I'm expecting Power of the Dog to win.
The Power of the Dog definitely has the momentum, and it has the number of nominations, and Jane Campion is probably a lock for Best Director. It's actually, and I like The Power of the Dog a lot. I think it's a really good movie, but I think it's actually my least favorite of all these movies. I even like Don't Look Up better than I like The Power of the Dog.
Really?
I don't dislike The Power of the Dog. I think it's great. I think it's great, but I think what the movie leaves you with after 2 hours and 5 minutes, right? It's about 2 hours and 5 minutes. It isn't much, and you can't really talk about that without, like talking about like the movie in detail. But I think when I think back on The Power of the Dog, I think of the performances, but I don't really think of anything else. Whereas King Richard, you think about a family, you think about what they achieved with Dune, you think about this world that this guy created, West Side Story. Even Drive My Car, which I was kidding around earlier, but Drive My Car is actually a masterpiece. It's a slow film, but the payoff to that movie, I think, is tremendous. If I was voting on this category, I would pick West Side Story because it's my favorite movie that I saw in 2021 from a technical perspective, from an acting perspective, and it's Spielberg firing on all cylinders. And you don't even have to like musicals because I don't like musicals either. But West Side Story, I think, is just a phenomenal piece of filmmaking. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be, unfortunately, Power of the Dog, although I'm rooting for a Coda upset. I mean, that would make me very happy.
So you mentioned Jane Campion is likely to win Best Director for Power of the Dog. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree.
Although she made that flub.
Yeah, what about the Williams sisters?
Yeah, but that's
going to
but
be.
you mentioned the ballots just went out. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't.
She's doing damage control right
And she apologized for it.
Yeah, but you can apologize, but she still said it.
I think
you
in
know
the
what I mean? It's like a thing where he's
context.
like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, then that didn't happen, but it was in her mind.
So for those who haven't followed it, don't know what we're talking about, Jane Campion, when she was receiving, I believe it was the Directors Guild Award, she said to Venus and Serena Williams after praising them wildly at the start of her speech, she said to them, well, at least you two don't have to compete against men. She subsequently apologized for that. Venus and Serena have not said that they were offended by it in any way. I don't think that's going to be enough to derail her for winning Best Director. I bet
you Will Smith is making some calls right now about Jane Campion.
And I don't. Well, yeah, because that could benefit King Richard.
That's what I'm saying.
And for him to win.
Right.
Because King Richard definitely has a shot here. I think Belfast has an outside shot.
Belfast, people keep talking about Belfast. I don't see it. I mean, I don't see it winning.
I don't see it winning either. I think Belfast could well go 0 for 7.
Right.
At the which, duh.
Right.
That's harsh. Right. But I think Belfast and Licorice Pizza are going to duke it out for original screenplay. I think Coda probably takes adapted screenplay and supporting actor. And I want to make this point about Jane Campion. She is the only woman to be nominated twice for Best Director. First time she was nominated was 1993 for The Piano, a terrific Holly Hunter film. You remember who she lost to in 1993?
Spielberg.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg for Schindler's List. So
interesting.
She gets her revenge this year.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yes.
I like that.
And if only The Tragedy of Macbeth were nominated this year, they would all be coming together perfectly with that. So yeah, she'll get revenge on Spielberg for winning director over Spielberg, who's also nominated for West Side Story.
Even though everyone knows West Side Story is a bigger achievement, like from every conceivable aspect. I mean,
it is.
That story is a monumental achievement.
Well, just the fact that
Power of the Dog is just a good Western.
The fact that West Side Story exists in this form as well as it was done is extraordinarily impressive. Because I went into it thinking, why to all of it? Why are you remaking one of the best musicals ever made? And it's a terrific success. Right. So kudos to them for pulling off West Side Story. Now, Steven Spielberg, 8 director nominations, 6 consecutive decades.
Wow.
That Spielberg has been out, dating back to
60 years?
No, 6 consecutive decades in which Spielberg has been nominated. That dating back to 1977. Before I was born, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Wow.
8. Wow. Oh,
That's
Wow
amazing.
was right. And then for Spielberg, 11 producer nominations, which is the Best Picture nomination. That's a record. Nobody else has
And he's
11.
won twice for which movies?
Oh no, E.T.
No, but he should have. He was robbed.
I was trying. I was gonna try.
Gandhi won that.
Yeah, E.T. was Gandhi year.
Gandhi of all things. But have you seen which other? So he's
Spielberg
won.
movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
which he's won Best Director twice for which movies?
Oh, Schindler's List. You
Saving
said.
Private
Schindler's
Ryan.
List and Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, how interesting.
That's right.
He's such a dynamic director because he can do everything from. Didn't he do the first Jurassic Park
Mhm.
to
First.
something as incredible as Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List? That's really.
Yeah, and could you imagine making Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year,
Same year.
which he did in 1993?
Got to have a
What a
brilliant mind.
tonal shift.
Such
Yeah.
different movies.
And you gentlemen have brilliant minds. It's actually been very exciting to watch to hear you both talk to each other because it's just like the knowledge that you both have for film and Oscars is out of this world. And we definitely need to have you guys back on at some point because I know that our conversations can go on for a very long time. We can keep going, and that's awesome. I want to find out now because I really do want to hear you guys keep talking, but I want to find out here who has the most cards because I got to give this prize out. So
I have 4.
it's 4,
Six.
6, and
Oh, come on, I have one. I have
It's
Wait,
two.
wait.
He's got 2.
He got a freebie though. Like you just gave him one.
I know, but even if I give you both a freebie,
I'd
he'd still
still
win. So Hudak, congratulations! You win the Winwood Brewing Company
Nice.
bottle opener.
Couple of bottle
I'll get that back when I see you at the end of the month in Colorado.
Sure.
Uh,
Thank you very much to the fine folks at Winwood Brewing.
Yeah, not a sponsor,
Appreciate
but cool people.
Should be.
I know. We're not drinking their beer either. We're drinking Modelo's today. It's St. Patty's Day, guys, which means we got a couple things happening around town. Why are you laughing? What did I say?
That's the way you said that.
Yeah, it's St. Patty's Day. So if you are around this evening, be sure to stop by Bay 13 Brewery and Kitchen, my favorite place, my local watering hole. Brought Tony there once or
Home away
twice.
from home.
I'm away from home,
Yep.
literally 10 blocks away from my house.
Great place, though.
They are doing a $5 shots, I think, and some whiskey specials this evening.
I'll
So
have a G.
have a G. Definitely have a G. Really supposed to have a Guinness today. But stop by, go by Bay 13. And if you're available on Saturday, come by the Makers Market at Bay 13. It is a great space for local vendors and artisans. I'm very proud of this market. It's been going for
Booming.
It is booming.
It really is.
Been going for 4 weeks. We should have about 18 vendors this weekend, all of which are local to South Florida, selling everything from bracelets and candles and soaps to earrings with Ear Decor Miami and Plant Within, and just so many great vendors. Lights for Souls and Sassy Stones. Last week we had Pure Water Factory there. Our boy ED Ellie Durant. This guy's cool. If you guys haven't seen our second episode, second episode.
Yeah, I think it's number 2.
Yeah, you definitely should check it out. Elliot's a
Trek.
super cool dude. He was in Star Trek Next Generation.
Many.
We had his picture up on the screen behind
Yeah.
us, which was fun. And a couple other really cool vendors. And we will be taking a break on March 26th, but we'll be back again on April 2nd for an even bigger Makers Market. So please be sure to check us out. And speaking about April, Tony, what's coming up on
What's
April 1st?
wrong?
No,
No.
April 1st.
Oh, well, you say it. I
Okay, we're very excited about this, and that's because the launch of the Resource City pilot will be on April 1st, which means that you can go to the App Store on April 1st
download that app.
and download the app on April 1st
Join a community.
and join a community
Support one while you're at
and support a community on April 1st. Be sure to check that out. We are working on some very cool communities. Hopefully, Hudak on Hollywood might be one at some point in time.
Yeah.
Get to check out some of Hudak's awesome lectures, which he does via Zoom and in person.
Yes, I have on Zoom. I'm doing the Best Picture Oscar talk, a full preview of all 10 Best Picture nominees, including clips from all the films. That's March 25th at 11 a.m. And then the night after the Oscars at 7 p.m., March 28th, Monday, March 28th, I do the Oscars aftermath.
Oh, that's
I describe it as what happened, why, and what the hell. I explain myself for being wrong in so many categories. Hopefully, I'll get a good amount right. But I reflect back on the night, what happened on the big night for the Oscars.
Andres, do you have that image? I think it's in the email. Could you put it up on the screen for us so the audience can see it? Do that for a second. We'll keep talking. This coming Saturday is also the Coral Gables Farmers Market, the last 2 weekends, this Saturday and the 26th. If you're around on the 26th, it's actually always super cool to see the last day of the Coral Gables Farmers Market because they always make it a little bit bigger. They do some, different vendors, some local restaurants. So be sure to check that out. Can throw that up on the screen for Hudak.
Cool.
And then we have the Clutch Crawl coming up on April 9th with our buddy, Steve Bradley. Clutch Burger. It's going to be a really cool experience. We're going to be visiting like a couple different bars and restaurants around Coral Gables. We have yet to disclose those. They're still a secret, but we will be telling everybody sometime soon and how you can purchase tickets. That's going to be on April 9th. And again, we got to say it one more time because this is so exciting. April 1st.
The launch of the Source City pilot.
Be sure to download
that app, support a community. You're going to love it.
And there we go. Upcoming from Hudak on Hollywood, the Oscars Aftermath, March 28th at 7 p.m.
Yeah. All the details to sign up, hudakonhollywood.com.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. And if you're around, be sure to check out the Cosford Cinema. We will hopefully, Rene, I'm going to come and visit you. We'll come watch No Way Home again. I'm going to drag Tony along.
You should.
Yeah, definitely going to do that. Gentlemen, thank you both for being on In the City with Source City with us today. We had a great time talking to you both and learning about some film history, Oscars history, and making some predictions about the Oscars. We are excited to see the Oscars live on
March 27th, 8 p.m. ABC.
Tony, do you know what they say when somebody gives an Oscar out?
No.
And the Oscar goes to In the City.
I know.
No, that doesn't work.
It was good though.
Yeah, well, Kristen Stewart. Anyway, good luck to my girl Kristen Stewart out there. Thank you all for watching today. We'll be back next week again, same time, same place, 3 p.m. on Thursdays, right here from Miami Community News. Thank you to our 5 million viewers who stayed with us for 1 hour and almost 12 minutes. And as Steve and Jared like to say to us, our 4-hour special is well on its way. So we look forward to seeing everybody again soon. Take care now.